So this dog walks into a bar, says, "Hey, bartender, I'll have a beer." The bartender's like, "Wow, a talking dog. Hey, you should join the circus." The dog says, "Why? Do they need an electrician?" Hey kids, Adam here. Today I'm going to talk about reverbs and delays, how I use them in all of my projects, and how I can hopefully help you simplify some of your decisions. This isn't necessarily going to be in the Foundation for Simplification series, but this is hopefully going to help you kind of make your decisions a little bit easier, make your life a little bit easier. If you look out there and you ask people, you ask the average mixer how many reverbs they have, and they're going to say, "Oh, I have like 300. Oh, I've got to buy this new reverb, got to buy this reverb. I got it. Oh, they're having a sale on this reverb. I got to get it." A while ago, there was a company that had this reverb. I think it was Convology XT. It was for free, and it had like 7 or 8 different analog reverbs, and each one had like 100 different settings you could do. Where are you supposed to go with all that? What are you supposed to do? Like, how are you supposed to make a reverb sound good? How are you supposed to use reverb? Let's head over to Reaper. I'm going to show you all my reverb and delay sends, how I use them, and what kind of things that I always do the same thing. Let's head over there now. All right, here we are, Reaper. You guys have heard this song a little bit. It's Strange. I'll put a card up here for it by my band Underground Hive. Just play a real quick clip of it. All right, so for starters, for what I'll do in a mix, I'll get my pan and volume mix, I'll get EQ and compression, and then I'll start to add in reverbs and delays. For the most part, every mix, I will send every instrument group to what I call my short reverb. And I'll bring up those effects over here. This is RVerb by Wave. I chose Bright Hall Reverb Type 2. I make sure the wet dry is 100% because this is going to a send track or an aux track or a bus track or whatever you want to call it. And I want to make sure that I set it on each channel. I set the volume that goes into, and this is at 100%. Then what I do is I kind of do that little maybe telephone echoey, put a card up here for that effect where I do a high pass filter and a low pass. High pass is at a little over 300 hertz. Low pass is a little over 6K. Just to tame out, get some of the rumble out and tame out some of the highs. And then on each instrument group, and I'll scroll over here. So on drums, it's very, very low. It's at maybe a -20. On the bass, it's probably about the same, -21. Guitars, maybe a little bit more, -13. Guitar solos, vocals, probably be a little bit more. It's like -9. And what that does is it kind of makes everything sound like it's in the same room. And then I'll add certain things to it. So if I go over here and if you just hover over the route button, it'll show you what, and I don't know why it's showing way up here, but I have drums, I have all my toms, I have my overheads. There's a part where I'm doing claps, and I have all, guitars, keys, vocals, bass in there. Let me solo this out and play it. And this is what it sounds like. Just the reverb track, everything going into it. It's reverby. It sounds like you're maybe listening to a band in a giant arena with no amplifiers and they're all the way at the other side. But what it does is it kind of brings everything together. And I look at this as almost like mixed glue. There's a lot of things that are mixed glue, compression, saturation. I think a reverb is kind of gluing your mix together. If you can get every instrument sent to the same reverb, it almost sounds like everyone's playing in the same room or the same hall, even though you've recorded them probably, in our case, maybe up to 4 different physical locations, not at the same time. In addition to having everything sound like it's the same room, I will use this for drums. It sounds great on toms. In fact, let me play you a clip of some drums where the toms really stand out, and a lot of it is due to this reverb. can hear those toms are just like boom, big giant echoey, reverby toms, and I love that sound on there. From there, let's go to what I call the long reverb. And if I highlight the routing button, I use these for my room mic. In fact, I'll put a card up here on how to get huge sounding drums using a room mic. Anything that I want to have more of a long tail. And that's why I call them short and long. So short is considered like a room reverb. Long is considered like a hall or a cathedral or whatever. So let me bring up the effects here. I'm using Wave's TrueVerb, and I'm using the cathedral preset, and I leave everything alone. And then I do the same thing with the EQ. I roll off the highs and I roll off the lows, just so I don't get any extra muddiness. Let's go to something that has a really good example of this, which would be the lead vocals. In fact, I'll solo out all the vocals in this verse.
You can comment on it. Notify their minds.
And then just the verb alone. And as it tails off, you can hear there's a much longer tail on each of, on the reverb itself. Whereas that more room reverb, it's like it's bouncing against a wall and just stopping. Next from there, I have a reverb left and a reverb right. These are exact copies of the short reverb. And I just, as you can see here, I just pan one 100% left and 100% right. I'll put a card up here to my video on how to get wide guitars. And one of the tricks I do is I take the left guitar and I send it to the right reverb, and the right guitar and I send it to the left reverb. Take a look at that video. I won't go into it here. It's literally an exact copy of those, just pan hard right and left. So now let's get into delays. Number one delay I grabbed for lead vocals is going to be a slap delay. Let me play you just the slap delay soloed, and you can hear kind of what it sounds like. The lead vocal is the main thing going into this.
'Cause everybody's strange, they're all insane.
And let's look at the effects on here. I'm using ReaDelay, and I just use the stock, vocal slapback preset. I leave it alone. I do kind of the same thing with the high pass and low pass, just to get rid of some of the low rumble, some of the harsh highs. And then I wanted this to be in stereo, so I used the JS MDA Pseudo-Stereo plugin. I put the amount up to 100%, and that makes it, instead of being like this,
'Cause everybody's strange,
makes it sound like this.
'Cause everybody's strange.
And just opens it up, makes it stereo. Another delay that I will use is a long delay on a eighth note or a quarter note. And let me solo out this on the same vocal, because I'm actually using multiples of these on the same vocal.
'Cause everybody's strange, they're all in.
For this, I'm using the Waves H delay. And here I'm setting it to a quarter note. I'm time syncing it, so the project at 98 beats per minute, that's where I'm time syncing it. And then I kind of use just a preset where I'm doing some things. This one has a high pass and a low pass built in, so I don't have to do anything special for that. I do have this Pseudo-Stereo plugin on, but I do not have it enabled in this project. I will use this from time to time. That gives it this, as long as it's time, when I played it solo there, it sounded kind of crazy, but when it's time synced, you don't hear those echoes off beat or anything. It sounds right on the beat. It's right with the project. Kind of gives it an extra oomph. New to this project, we wanted a kind of a different sound between the lead and the background vocals. So what we did is we put what we call a tape slap. And in this second verse here, what I did for this is I did H delay again, and I chose their tape delay. I made this at eighth note, time synced it again, high pass and low pass. That's what this sounds like.
'Cause everybody's posting and posing, snapshot of a wish, but the story's old.
It kind of tightens it up, makes it a little bit tighter is the best way to do it, but it also gives it kind of that old time tape delay thing. And then let's play just the lead vocal here, because I have as you can see in the sends here, I'm using the long reverb on the lead itself. I'm using the short reverb on the vocal channel itself. I'm using both the slap and the long delays and the tape slap delay, because I wanted this to just give a really, really unique kind of vocal sound. So here's basically just the lead vocals with all of those effects on.
'Cause everybody's strange, they're all insane.
And then with the band, and I'll turn the vocals up so you can hear them a little bit better.
'Cause everybody's strange, they're all insane.
So that's my standard reverb and delay sends. There are a number of reasons why I stay with these, but for the most part, it's simplification. And I'm, if you guys have seen my videos, I'm big on just, if I can eliminate a decision, I'll take it out. So if I know I want a reverb with a longer tail, instead of going and searching through 1,000 different reverbs, I'll just throw my reverb long on it as opposed to my reverb short. If I want more reverb, I'll put both of them on. If I want to automate between the two, which I actually did on a song Under the Moonlight, which I'll put a card up here if I have any room for cards on YouTube left, I go back and forth between using the long and short. And then I like to use slap and long delays for giving that extra kind of extra vocal effect. I will also use delays in guitar solos. I will use them in any like little effecty thing. There's a lot of keyboard stuff that I use them on, and any effect that I want to do that's maybe echo or whatever, I'll add something special. But for the most part, I have my short reverb, my long reverb, my slap delay, which is kind of a short delay, and my long delay. And those are the 4 go-to reverb and delays that I use. So that is it for my reverbs and delays. If you like this video, please hit the like. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you use reverbs. If you've fallen into the trap of buying every new reverb that comes out just because it's cool. Do you have Valhalla? Do you have, I don't even know all the names of them. Do you have all the T-Rex stuff? Do you have all the Wave stuff? Do you have all the Convology stuff? Do you have all the latest reverb of the week? Or are you able to limit yourself and make easier mixing decisions? Because in the end, it may not even really matter. So subscribe, hit the little bell thingy, and have yourselves an amazing week. Until next time. So for sample, in addition to, how do I do this? I'll put a card up here on my, on my what? What word was I even going to say there? I have no idea.